Karma clap.
And welcome back to Gorgeous Pandemonium. That's Charyssa.
And that's Gabrielle. We're super excited that you're here with us for another episode where we dive into the big things, the little things, and all the gorgeous chaos in between.
So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's get into it. Ow, ow, ow. Oh
Do you have a
shit, I
drink?
didn't even. I have water. I already
Nice.
drank all
Me
my
too.
hot chocolate.
Okay, I thought that was coffee. I was like, dang, girl.
Lord, no. I am 34 years
I
old. I
mean,
can't
I'm
have
not
coffee
here
after.
to judge, but I guess I should have said something. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Seriously, you should have. I would have done that to you. I would have been like, excuse me, ma'am.
I know you would.
Okay, so welcome to episode 44.
But, ooh, 44. That's wild. I saw a shit ton of forest today.
Did
I
you?
literally I was out for a work thing today, and my time to arrive home was 4:44.
It's not that. That's the time I left for work from work today. Because my alarm went off at 4:44, I was like, "Oh shit, it's 4:44. I gotta go."
That's nuts. Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Okay. I
I
don't
think that's
remember what
interesting that
4
you saw a
means,
whole
but we're
bunch of
gonna have to.
fours. I saw
Yeah.
like 6 or 7 Santa Fe's today on my way home. The older ones that I like, not the new
Okay.
ones.
Fucking new ones.
Hyundai, if you're listening, the fuck? What'd you do to your Santa Fe's?
Okay,
Stop
but
it.
also maybe I'll just
What are you gonna say?
Hyundai and Kia are just not.
What do you have against my Kia?
You have a Kia, I have a Hyundai. I'm just saying the shit that has been going on for the past like 2
That's
years with
true.
them
Yeah,
is,
yeah. A lot. It's a
yeah.
lot.
It is a lot.
But I
Luckily,
loved,
we were not
do you remember my
part of
orange
that.
one? My orange Hyundai?
I do, yeah.
I loved that car so much. I miss that car every day. I have missed that car every
Really?
day since I traded it in for the Kia.
Aw. Are you ever gonna go try to get another one?
1000% I will. I just have to like pay this bitch down a little bit more. And I'm very picky because I don't like the newer models of the Santa Fe's. Like the bodies are disgusting to me. And I don't like that they have like dog bones for brake lights and headlights. It's
Oh,
stupid.
yeah, no, that's weird. It's so
I don't
weird.
like it.
No, but
But I
also
like the older ones.
I've heard older is better, like newer cars, they're not
Hmm.
making them the same anymore. Like straight from, I know someone who works at a dealership and they were like, don't fucking buy
Yeah.
new. Don't do it.
No.
It's not gonna last you.
So one of my really good friends, so the gal that does my nails, her
Uh-huh.
husband,
Yeah.
he and I were talking because I was like, I really want a Santa Fe again, but I want a hybrid for my next car because why the fuck not?
Yeah.
So, and he was like, okay, as long as it's not like fully electric, and I'm like, valid. I don't want it to die on me because knowing my luck, it'll die on me somewhere.
Oh, that would be terrible. Me
That would be
too. Oh my
terrible,
God.
right?
I ride the gaslight so long sometimes.
Can you
You can't
imagine?
just like pull off the side of the road and be like, hey, can you come give me a charge? Like, what do
Exactly.
you
It's like
do?
you get a solar panel at that point. Like, what else can you do?
Oh my
But
God.
like,
Honestly, are there people that have solar panels on their cars? That's so
I don't think that it works
smart.
that way. I
I
don't
don't
think that
know.
it would collect enough
That's fair.
energy. I
That's
don't
fair.
know. I'm not a scientist, but like,
I have no idea.
so
Anyway.
up until 2020, so I want something that is 22 or kind of younger, preferably a 19. That's not true.
Older? 22 or older?
22 or older, but not super old.
Got-
And
That's fair.
ideally, I would like that orange, that burnt orange color again. I really like that. Or like a
We'd always know
dark
when you
green.
were anywhere, you know? I
I
love it.
know. And now it's like I blend in with everyone. It's so
Yeah.
stupid. I'm incognito and I've got the biggest
That's
personality out there.
that's fair. When we're driving on the freeway or something, I'm like, the only way I know it's you is your license plate cover or your
That's
stickers on your
hilarious.
car. But yeah.
I don't have stickers on my car anymore
Oh, that's fair. Don't.
because I had those magnets that when I went to the car
Mm-hmm.
wash, or no, not the car wash, the the
Oh,
Kia dealership down in wherever, South Jordan, like, I guess washed my car, took off my magnets and didn't replace them. So someone has
ridiculous.
some cool magnets. Go team. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's not.
not cool, Kia. Do
Yeah,
better.
you definitely need more of a, which I same. Well, I mean, I guess I have some stickers on my car that helps set me apart a little bit, but I always wanted that when I was younger of like a just like a super set you
Different
apart
color or
car.
something. Yeah.
There was this girl that I went to high school with and she had a lime green car with zebra seat covers and I was like, I knew every party I went to or every like I'd be driving down the street randomly and I'm like, "Oh, she's at that person's house." Like, I don't know who that is, but I know that's her car. Like, that's fun. Yeah.
I used to have, so when I had Winnie, who was my Hyundai,
Mhm.
on the back window, I had WWRBGD for what would Ruth Bader Ginsburg do?
I
I
love
had
that
a
so
little cat and a broom. I had I had like three others, and I loved
Oh
them
my
all
god.
so much.
You just need to
The-
make you some. To be fair,
I don't know what you're saying to me.
I said we need to make you some, and then to be fair, you have asked me for some, and I haven't made them, so
That's
I just need
okay. You're
to.
really busy. Priorities, man.
Yeah,
We've got other priorities other than making me car
maybe
stickers. Well, and that's the funny thing is I
maybe when
have
we
some
get together,
stickers.
we can. Oh,
Well, I have stickers that I want to put on that I've collected over the years, right?
oh,
But I don't
okay.
want to put it on this car because I know that with this
Oh,
car, it is not it's not my,
yeah,
I'm not keeping it. Like I know
that's
that
fair.
as soon as I can, I am
Yeah,
transitioning to a different car.
that's fair.
That's like,
That
I
makes
have this
perfect
one that,
sense.
that my mom and I got in St. George last year. It's so cute. It's cactuses and it says, "Don't be a prick."
Oh, I love that.
So funny.
Oh,
Oh man,
that's hilarious. I
that
love
is
that.
hilarious. Good times. Good time. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Sorry. What were we talking about before? We were just saying 44. 44.
Yeah,
That's
we
funny.
just got off on a.
We squirreled real hard just now. Yeah, I sure am.
I love it so much. Okay. All right. Well,
Okay.
do we have any announcements? I don't think so.
Yeah, we do actually. Patreon is up to date.
Nice.
That, that's the only announcement we've got going on right now is that Patreon is
Fund
now
your
up to date, you
babies.
guys. Fund your favies. I love that so much. But we've actually been talking about different things that we're going to do for our Patreons folk. So make sure that if you, nope, I don't know what I was saying. Make sure if you're interested, just do it. Just do it. 'Tis the season to make our
Do
dreams
it.
come true.
Do it. Shia LaBeouf. Do it. Do
Wow. Okay.
you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. You just looked a fool. But I love you anyways, so you can be a
Did
fool
you hear
anytime.
that I said Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, I heard that part. I don't get it.
Oh my God. Okay, girl. I feel like I am not the out one here. I think you should know. It's been a thing for a while. I don't know what it was. He
Like,
like
unless it
did
was holes, I haven't seen him in
something.
anything.
No, no, he hasn't been anything, but it was like some like random like a YouTube video or he was responding to I don't even remember. It's literally years and years old. But there's a video of Shia LaBeouf just being like, "Do it, do it." Hmm. And so it's like a GIF and it's a joke. Like I'm gonna find the video and send it to
Please do, because I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
you. Oh. All right, I'm writing myself a note.
Okay.
Oh, hilarious. There is a GIF that I love that says "Do it." It's Ben Stiller in something, whatever that movie is, where he's like a fashion person and he does a like walks down the
Yeah,
catwalk or something.
Zoolander.
Yeah, and he's like, "Do it, do it." do it. Anyway, I just went off on that.
Yeah, you did. I love our little squirreling tonight.
Do it, folks!
Squirrel!
You love us and you love our squirrely moments. So fun, you
Yeah,
babies.
fun to favies. And the cats, because the cats want gravies all the time.
Fund your favies and give the babies gravies, okay?
Okay, we need to make a commercial about that. Boo would be
Yes.
thrilled.
Oh
Look
my
at
god.
his
I'm writing it
wasting
down.
away.
She needs
Wasting away.
gravies.
Gravy. I know that she doesn't look like she's wasting away, but compared to what she wants.
But she thinks she's wasting away.
Well, no, she's old, like thinning out quite a bit.
Oh, is she?
Last time I took her to the vet, she was 9 1/4. She's under 9 pounds now. And she eats like normal
Dang.
still.
Does she also scream at you all day, every day because she wants more?
Yep. Oh, boo boo. Yeah,
That's
sounds about
okay.
right.
Ren too. And I actually just I made the dog food that we make for my grandma's dog,
Hmm.
and she texted me and she was like, he goes back like every 20 minutes and licks his bowl and like tries to make sure he got every little piece, and he just like he'll like stare at it and look at me and then walk back. And I'm like, yeah, Ren does the same thing. He will straight up get our attention, go and stick his nose in his food bowl and look at us. And I'm like, dude, you just ate 20 minutes ago. You're fine. Stop it. The furry ones, they're so silly.
Well, I have to make sure that they have hard food at night now too, after they've had their like soft food dinner. Otherwise, Batty Bat will go into my bathroom and knock every single thing off the counter.
See, at least Ren doesn't do that shit.
Yeah, have cats, they say. It'll be fun, they say. Fuck that.
That's
It
hilarious.
makes me
Oh
so
my
mad.
gosh.
Because like I have all of my skincare out, so I remember to do it. Because
Oh,
Lord knows, but it's
she.
not
I don't know
like
why I was picturing your like spare bathroom. She goes in
no,
your
no,
bathroom.
in my bathroom and
No.
knocks off all of my stuff. And I'm like, bitch, that is expensive shit. That is one thing that I splurge on for myself when I'm not spoiling you guys.
Oh,
I say that one thing that I spoil myself
ridiculous.
with as if my whole life is not about me.
As it should be then.
As it should be. Oh, boo boo. Oh, boo boo.
Oh, it's
Me
hilarious.
boo.
Let's. We still have one card left, right?
We do.
For the wow.
That's right. It is time for our
Wow. 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 Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so our final big word flashcard word is onomatopoeia. So this is a noun, ladies and gents, and everything in between. Everyone in between, pardon me. It is a noun. It is when a word sounds just like what it is.
Oh,
There
that's right.
are no similar words because this word is one of a kind. See, also sounds animal.
Hmm. Trying to figure out how I'm going to fit that in here.
Should we just really quick think of an animal sound and then just get it out of the way and then just move on with the episode?
Moo.
Okay.
What are we
So
doing
the
with it?
way that
Sorry.
so
I just make a noise.
a cow moos,
A cow moves,
and
yes.
that's an onomatopoeia.
It is. And a
You say
dog uh real appreciate you. I'm just out here making
that's it.
animal
That's all
noises.
I got. Like, okay, that's it. Onomatopoeia is our final word.
Yeah, there we
Thank
go.
you,
I love it.
Tor. What's been your favorite word? We'll have to talk about that
Hmm.
another time.
That's fair. I'll have to go back and look at them. I will say with now that we're like at the end, I have been better about using them a little bit more outside of like just um our episodes, but I think the one that I've probably use the
The
most
Borg
is
miss.
Beborgmas. Yeah,
Me too.
because I said that to you the other day, and I said it to James. Yes. Yeah, and I'm like looking back through some, and yeah, I don't know. There's definitely been some fun ones, but
Yeah, I like
yeah,
Catawampus too.
yeah.
That was a good one.
I just looked at that one.
But that's
Canawampus.
okay.
Cane
Cata-
Cantankerous. I really want to like
Cantankerous is a
use
good one.
that. Someone's being grumpy, and I'm like, listen, stop being so
I also
cantankerous, okay? Back the fuck up.
I used masticate today.
Do you?
Okay, and I also realized the other day when we were recording our bonus episode,
Yes.
girl, I was masticating in your ear and I
Yes,
didn't even
you
realize it, and I am
were. And I
so
just
sorry.
sat there.
Why didn't you say something? Why
I
didn't you
was
tell me you could hear me?
I was focusing on because it was mainly before we were recording, and I was focused unless
But you hate that. And it wasn't cute.
I
I know, because I could hear it. And I was like, I'm so glad she can't hear this right now. You hear the
No,
whole
I
fucking
actually I
thing.
really don't like it. But it wasn't terrible. Like it wasn't super loud, and I was very focused on what I was doing. But no, that's fair. There are so like I think I've told you
Because I was
before,
still,
like
I was like eyeing you to make sure you weren't giving me any looks. So I knew that you couldn't hear.
it's
You kept your face
just
so
like
neutral until I said, oh, I'm so glad you can't hear this. I can.
I also knew that you hadn't eaten though, and I was like bullied you into getting food, you know?
You did bully me into getting
So
food.
I wasn't about to be like, stop eating.
Stop eating now that you have food. Hilarious. Oh my
That's so
gosh.
funny.
Hilarious.
So funny. Do you know the
The
Muffin Man?
Muffin Man?
Do you one that lives on Drury Lane? Okay, anyway,
Well, I know the Muffin
more.
Man.
The Muffin Man!
Well, she's married to the Muffin
The
Man.
Muffin Man.
The Muffin! Sorry.
I think that's one of James's favorite scenes from a movie. I
From
think
Shrek?
he's quoted that so many times. I'm pretty sure I don't know. But anyway, do you have a glimmer from this week?
Glimmers!
We have
Yes! Oh
not
my
talked
gosh.
about glimmers in a hot
We
minute.
haven't. I was actually. Okay, so yes. But oh, wow. Sorry.
We are all over today. This is
Yes,
wild.
so this is bizarre. Anyways, I have been listening to our very first episodes. I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh,
If you guys have been with us since the beginning, thank you so much for sticking it out during our
thank you.
terrible
And
audio seasons. Like,
we've
holy
learned a
crap.
lot,
We've
okay?
learned so much and we really appreciate you. You're great. Thanks for being here still. And if you're new, you don't need those. Don't judge us on those. We were brand
I mean,
spanking new to
we're
this
still pretty
party.
great though, so you can still
Like,
listen to
yeah.
them.
I
Just
mean,
know that like,
listen to them.
obviously
Just know we've
we've come a
gotten way
far
better at
way.
this.
Yeah.
Way better. Anyways, what was I saying?
Glimmer.
Glimmers. You were saying glimmers. Yeah. A glimmer for me is that I started a new project today. That's not true. I've been working on this project, but I actually like have put a pin in it for quite some time, and now I
Okay.
picked it up again. And I did a lot of work on it, and I got like 2 hours worth of work into it. So I'm very happy about it.
Dang, look at you. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
What about you? Tell me about a glimmer for you.
I mean, I will say today I had a glimmer of like a little bittersweet, but definitely a glimmer nonetheless. We at work every quarter we have these like in-person leadership sessions, and we're not doing them anymore. Today was the last one. So it was very because I mean we've really done them since COVID. Well, like a year or so after COVID, right? Obviously after it was okay for everyone to start getting together again.
Okay.
Um, but it's been something that I really look forward to, and it's been so fun. And like we do all these fun networking things, and we just get to see people and whatever, right? So it was really fun to see people today. I got to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time, and talk with them. But yeah, it was the last one, so a little bittersweet. Where I got
Well,
this cute thing
oh,
from.
cute. I was going to ask about that. That's.
We did
I'm
like
glad that you
team
had a good
games and
time. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm sorry it was your last.
That's okay. We'll still do once a year something, but it's not on the same scale, so it's just different, but that's okay. We'll just have to keep in touch other ways.
Valid, valid.
Yeah.
Effort.
We both think
Ooh, effort.
gross. I know as
Nasty.
I was
Hi,
leaving, I
baby.
was like, I'm gonna message you. We should set up a coffee chat or something. And I'm like, oh my God. I really
Why would
do
you
need
do
to do
that to
that. And I
yourself?
would love to, but like, yeah, I'm like, when do I fit that in?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that was really crazy of you.
Lovely girl.
She's so pretty.
All
Okay,
right.
Miss Ma'am,
We hop in.
we should just hop right in. I have a
Let's do
belly
it.
on my lap, a boo to my left, and a batty on her bed, so let's do this.
A belly on your lap. Very nice.
Keep your tail
One
down,
day,
ma'am.
one day she'll be on my
Yes.
lap too.
Yes, she will. You will.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so today we are going to talk a little bit about some of my experience in women in leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I shared a little bit about when I was doing the Women in Leadership course at the University of Utah. And it's essentially like a 7-day course, but it was over like the course of weeks. Like we went one day, like every other week. So it was a longer course. It felt like anyway. But there was just so many amazing things that I learned in there. Especially, I mean, in the title, right, as a woman. Um, as someone in leadership, like just really important things that I think that especially a lot of women need to hear. And I know not all of our listeners are women, so hopefully this is something that resonates with you in some way. I think that there's just some really good lessons overall. So I don't know ultimately how many parts this is going to be. It's going to probably just be like randomly throughout our episodes and seasons, right? But this essentially is part 1. So what the Women in Leadership certificate or course is. It is a certificate that helps provide expertise, credibility, and confidence needed to make the most of your career. So it is, I mean, obviously pretty business focused, right? I guess again, kind of says it in the name. One of the things that we, like before we even truly started the class that we started with was something called an EQ 360 assessment. So it was this survey quiz thing. I don't want to say quiz because there's not like right or wrong answers. Like a survey thing essentially that you give to multiple people in your life, right? Obviously, I had you fill out one for me. So it's like for myself, like you give it to your direct reports, um, the people you report to, your peers, your friends, your family, other like other people you have worked with in the past or so it may be. But you're essentially just like gathering a bunch of information from these people on like how they perceive you, especially in the work environment, in the home environment, and how, because you also take it on yourself. And so I don't even remember how many questions there were, but there was like a lot of questions, right? And then at the end, there were like some options to kind of write some things out, like write things out that you do well or write things out that they would like to see different. And for the most part, it's pretty anonymous. I mean, obviously, in certain categories, you may only have 1 or 2 people. And depending upon, I guess, I don't know, like with the writing sections anyway, the way that you see people write things, like you might be able to like know who it's from or whatever. But anyway, overall, a bunch of feedback on you, right? And I've got my whole like literally like giant ass binder here of stuff. But anyway, so we started with this assessment or survey thing, and it's like those of you that can see, like she's thick. There's lots of stuff in here. So it literally like it breaks down your answers, compares how you see yourself versus how other people see you. It breaks it down into like different sections and like things that you can be aware of and like where you're aligned with people and where you're not, anyway, like very in depth. And so that was like literally, I think almost our entire first session was just talking about like how to read it, how to understand it, and how to like take it in. And the areas that people fill out about you. There's multiple areas. It's self-perception, self-expression, interpersonal, decision making, and stress management. So just like variety of things, right? And one of the things, so in talking through this, sometimes obviously there's a gap between how you view yourself and how others view you, right? Sometimes it's we're not giving ourselves enough credit, and it's nice to see that other people are like seeing us in these positive ways. And other times it's like maybe we're giving ourselves a lot of credit and other people don't see what we see. And I mean, personally, I had that in like both areas, right? For example, like I think with decision making, I think it was without like looking at it, I think that I didn't give myself as much. I did hear her purring a little bit.
Did you? Because she literally tilted her head all the way back, looked at you, looked at me, and hopped down.
Dang it, I missed it.
Like she's not even here.
I know, she's
You
rebelling, so I'm
can
not
catch it
physically
on
there.
YouTube though.
Yes. So for me, decision making, I think that like there's some questions about impulsivity in there, which like I don't know that I've talked about on other episodes. I am impulsive in certain places. I feel like I'm not in others, but I do know that I am impulsive. And so I think I rated myself as far as like being more impulsive, but at least people that I work with, it was funny actually to see the difference in people that you work with and people in your home life. Because obviously you have very different relationships with those individuals, right? And so again, for me, people that I work with didn't see a lot of my impulsivity, where my family and my friends see it a lot more. So it's interesting to look at that. But something that I've always prided myself on is my optimism. And I feel like I'm a very positive and happy person. Like I know that I am. I rated myself quite a bit higher than other people with like the perception of me putting that out. So that was really interesting to see of like, oh, okay. So I know that like I'm positive. I look on the positive side of things, but like maybe I could share that in different ways, right? So different things that you can see, but obviously in certain areas, if you see you're rating yourself higher than other people, like that can affect you a little bit differently than just being like, oh, okay, maybe I need to like put it out there a little bit more, right? So one of the like biggest things that we talked about is really how to read the information in or how to take it in regards to don't take things in personally, right? Kind of look at it as like what can I take in and what can I improve on or what can I set some goals on? Because that was our goal ultimately, right? Is to be able to set some goals on that and work on those things. But also, what are things that are like, it's okay that we're rating a little bit differently in this. It's okay that maybe they don't see everything that I see or know everything that I know in these certain processes, right? So just kind of taking a step back and like not first off taking it like as personally as, we first want to. But again, with all of this, there was just obviously a lot of conversation around feedback and how important feedback is and how we really should be asking for feedback so much more than any of us are. And I think something that's important too that I don't remember how much we talked about this, but I can speak about this in from like my career perspective. Sometimes, unfortunately, I think that people and or companies and or management, right, all of the above, can put feedback as such a negative thing. Like you only get feedback when it's like criticism, when it's like you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, right? Feedback can be such a beautiful thing. There are so many different types of feedback, and the way that you give feedback can really impact obviously how it's being received, right? So I think that's something that I want to say too, especially like for those of our listeners that are in leadership or are in a place of someone who is giving feedback to others. Be super mindful of the way that you're giving feedback, but also, again, the type. Because even if you're giving consistent, constructive feedback in good ways, you also need to give good feedback of the things that people are doing correctly and the things that people are doing well. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we're all human beings, right? Like we need praise. We need to know that we're doing good in whatever areas. And that makes it a lot easier to get the other feedback and to be able to pivot and make changes that we need to. So we talked about just like regularly asking for feedback. And I think this really can be applied in like multiple areas of your life. Obviously, this conversation was more like business geared, but I really think, I mean, I think you and I have had conversations about in our personal relationships, right? Like our partnerships of having regular check ins of like, how am I showing up for you? Is there anything that I can do differently for you? How are you feeling? Where are things at? And like, it's all feedback essentially, right? Like, you're trying to make sure that you're both on the same page. You're doing the things that they are wanting to see or that's needed or whatever to make this work. So I encourage everybody to gather feedback. Obviously, you want to be, I think, like purposeful in the feedback and try to have like some directed questions. And I don't necessarily have like directed questions to give you, but I would challenge you to try to figure out like if you're wanting feedback, especially like in your role, like your job role, right? Like, what is it, if you can think through, like, if someone were to give you feedback, like, what area would you want to receive feedback on? Or, are there certain areas that you can focus on? Because I think when we just kind of ask, because like I've done this in multiple conversations of like, just overall, like, do you have any feedback for me? And like, I've even said, like, can I show up differently in different spaces? Or, like, is there anything, that you want to see more of or less of or whatever? But also I've noticed when I ask it, like, in a one-on-one conversation, unprompted essentially, like, I haven't sent you a message, I haven't given you time to process that, I'm just, like, asking you face to face, like, "Hey, what feedback do you have for me?" I'm not really met with much. I'm just met with like, "Oh, no, yeah, like, you're doing great, everything's good." So I think the things that you ask and the way that you ask it can obviously really help the responses that you get. I don't know. I think personally what comes to mind for me is like at work, I use Microsoft Forms a lot for like random surveys or whatever. And with that, you have the option to make it anonymous as well, which some people feel a lot more comfortable giving feedback anonymously.
Mhm.
But then you can, like, you have it written, you have it as something you can look at. And if you're sending it out to multiple people, like you can kind of compare things too. Obviously, without having this big like assessment thing that was put together for us by another company. Um, so yeah, feedback is super important. It should be gathered regularly. And again, even if you're asking very simple questions, it can be super easy to get lost in the negative. Step back, focus on how you can respond, focus on what you can control, because also sometimes we can't control everything, right? With what people are, I don't know, seeing or giving back to us. And kind of check in with yourself on where you're at with it as well and set goals to change these things or move forward in different ways if you feel that that's necessary and that aligns with what you're wanting to achieve. Um, Also, something we talked through is if you don't understand the feedback, ask for clarity. Obviously, that can be a little bit harder if it's anonymous. So I guess kind of, I don't know, like you may have to be a little bit more mindful with this specifically. But asking for clarity, like if someone says something and you're like, I don't personally think I do that. I don't understand how I do that, or I don't, like you don't maybe agree with it. You can ask something as simple as like, how have you seen me do that? What would be better? How could I do this differently? So that put it out there too, like your intent for the feedback and your intent for the answers of like, I want to get better. No, I don't even know that I want to get better. I want to understand because maybe we don't always need to get better, right? But I want to understand and make sure we're on the same page. So can you please share with me, how you see me do this or how I could do it differently in your eyes or your thoughts. And again, when you're reading through it, if like at first it's hitting you and you have feelings, feel your feelings. Totally valid. Take that time to feel your feelings, move through it, and then reach out and ask for clarity or reach out and have further conversations, right? And or even thanking people for taking the time to provide you feedback. Yeah, I think that was the main things I wanted to hit on feedback. I do have a question for you. If I know you like questions. Are you open to it?
I love questions.
Okay,
Absolutely.
cool. All right. So, can you think of a time that you have received feedback, whether it was feedback you were asking for or just feedback that you have received for whatever reason, at work that was helpful in creating a skill, honing in on something, seeing some perspective or something that you hadn't understood and you were able to move through? Does that make sense? Or maybe
I don't need.
feedback that you didn't agree with. Whatever you want to share in regards to feedback.
To me, it is not necessarily the feedback itself, it's the way that the feedback is delivered is where it's at for me.
Uh-huh.
Because someone could tell me I suck at my job. As long as they like present it in like the right way, I'm not gonna throw hands. Like,
Yeah,
so like, is that
I love
okay?
that. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's fair. Well, and I mean, again, to your point of like the way that we're delivering feedback, even if you have something that may not be the easiest to share with someone or you'd think is not going to be received the best, like the way that you give that feedback can really like make or break
The
the
entire
conversation and the
interaction.
way the person receives it and moves forward with it. Because if you come in and you're like, yeah, you're kind of shit at your job, it's probably not going to be met super well.
Exactly. Exactly.
But
I mean,
if you're like,
it would be met very well for me as I walk out the door, but
mm-hmm, with some fingers up and, flip a table or
fingers up
two.
and oh no, I wouldn't even have to flip tables. I would just start speaking my mind.
There you go.
The joys of working in person and not at home.
I know, right? I would
You
just like
guys will
slam my
hear me.
laptop.
I know. It's like the difference between having a flip phone or like a corded phone
Yes.
and being angry versus now where you just have to like
Yeah.
repetitively hit the button.
Yeah. Instead of slamming it or hitting yeah.
Yeah.
Having them hear the angry receiver hitting or whatever.
Yeah. Or if you're
Now they
really
just
dramatic, you take the phone, just kind of hit it on the counter before you hang it up.
I obviously started this out saying how we had this whole big thing filled out. So obviously I've gotten a lot of feedback recently. Well, I mean, this was in September, so somewhat recently. But one thing that I can think of, like one feedback thing that like really, really stood out for me when I was really just beginning my leadership journey. I wasn't even like fully in a leadership position yet, but I was trying to do more in my role and with my peers and whatever to like be seen as a leader. And this was when we were in person, so back, pre-COVID. Um, and I was helping answer questions. Like I was doing my own work, but people could walk up to me and like ask questions. Like they would generally go to leadership, but I was assisting, so they would come to me or whatever. And I was super excited for this, and I was super excited to answer their questions. And I was like, I think again, maybe for me, like the positivity thing, I was like, I feel like I'm, I don't know, like what I am right now, like smiley. I'm like happy to answer your question. I'm so happy to help you. And I don't remember if it was like prompted from other leadership or if I would just like, I don't know. But I sent out probably a Microsoft form, right? Like just like a quick questionnaire of like, how approachable do you think I am? Something along those lines. And it was anonymous, and I did not expect the results that I got.
Were you not approachable at all?
No, not very much. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like what am I doing that's so like I had to
Are
like
you too
really
happy?
no, it was the complete opposite. I was like, I had to like really step back and be like, how am I not approachable? Because I think like I do have RBF, right? I am very smiley and I'm very
What?
happy, but I know it's a fucking shocker, right? You've never seen it, especially when there's masticating going on. But I like when I get really focused on stuff, which like obviously I was doing my work outside of people asking questions. So I was very focused and someone would come up. And so I would just turn and be like, hey, what's your question? Answer their question and tell them where to go. But I was kind of like taking that RBF face and tone with me and answering their question. And so I figured out that I was like, okay, I need to like step back
Fix
a
your
little
face?
bit and be a little bit softer. Yes. I know like as women, right? Like we're told to smile and like do all these things so we're approachable and we're no, like boo, boo. But I was like, okay, I can like be aware of, I don't know, be aware of my presence and how I'm responding to people, I guess. And I had actually talked with someone
I
in my
guess.
family who,
I guess I could be more sensitive to other people.
right, because they don't understand that I'm happy to answer their question even though I'm not smiling. Ridiculous. But I actually talked with another person in leadership that is in my family, so we were having a conversation about it, and I don't remember exactly because, I mean, again, this was quite a while ago, but she had told me that she had received similar feedback. A woman, right? Imagine that. Um, but I think she had said like she had, I think they're technically called worry stones, like the stones that you can just like sit and rub or
Uh-huh.
whatever. She had one in her pocket, and she like it said like happy or love or something on it. And so she would like, especially when she was walking around like addressing her team and stuff, she would put her hand in her pocket and rub it, and that would help remind her of like, okay, like breathe, be soft, be aware of your face, whatever. Um, so yeah, that's probably one of the biggest feedback
Interesting.
things, especially because I was asking for it and expecting a completely different response. So I definitely had to step back with
That's
that
why I
one.
don't ask people if I'm approachable.
And that's fair, right? Like that was a very specific, because I was trying to get up into leadership. I was like, "Hey, how do y'all perceive me? Can I step into leadership?" Obviously, I am in my leadership journey, right? I'm in leadership positions, but yeah, but your feedback, if you're asking for feedback, can be very directed at like what you're wanting to know.
Yeah, that's for sure. I am going to just parallel something real quick about this.
Okay. Yeah.
So the parallel is, have you ever noticed that like it's like the equivalent? So like the RBF being like, well, you're not smiling or whatever, so you're unapproachable, is like wildly equivalent to you're not wearing makeup, you must be sick.
Ew, yes.
Like you're not smiling, I can't talk to you.
Uh-huh.
You're not wearing makeup or you don't have your lashes on, you must
What's
stay
going on?
away.
Are you
Like,
okay? Like
yeah,
what?
are you ill? It's like, no, I'm not fucking ill. I just didn't want to put lashes on today. I just
Oh my God.
showered. I'm sorry I'm
That,
so pasty.
but this is natural.
This is my natural. I don't smell like
This is
umbrella.
me.
I don't
You
smell
don't
like
look.
pine cones.
I love that. Honestly, you sent me a podcast episode recently with
I'm sure I did.
Tori
Yes,
from
Dunlap.
her first million,
100K.
100K.
Just
I
Financial Feminist, the podcast.
yes,
And you
but
just sent me one today.
I did, yes, because I've been listening to her. I don't feel like the one that you sent me, I feel like she was on someone else's podcast though, like as a guest. It wasn't her podcast. But anyway, in the episode, she had said, yeah, no, it wasn't hers, because she had said something. She was talking about
The Every
how,
Girl podcast.
yes, 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 yes. She was talking about how, like, we're supposed to take care of ourselves, but as women, the things that we take care of ourselves is labeled as, I can't even think of the word now. She said
Luxury.
it in, yes, in an episode that I listened to of hers today as well, luxury. And we're also told as women, like, why are you buying the expensive handbag? Why are you buying all this makeup? But then to her point, she was like, if I showed up here today and I wasn't wearing makeup, people would think I was hot, I was tired, didn't want to be here, and they wouldn't buy my book. So like that's, yeah, like that's so,
It's such a
like
double standard.
so frustrating.
Have you
100%.
ever noticed that the man with the RBF is usually the CEO?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And he is
Yeah. The
praised
one that,
for that, for being such a
uh-huh.
badass and so
Yep.
hard all the time. It's like,
Yep. And the one that's smiley and approachable and whatever is, I mean, even not, I didn't hear what you said.
hey, it's,
Okay. I feel like we're on the same line.
I don't know. What did you say?
I was going to say is seen as more feminine, of
Oh,
more
no,
like that's, no, or soft. What did you say?
no, not at all what I
No?
said.
Oh, okay.
No, I was doing a Dane Cook bit. Okay, sorry.
Anyway,
Anyways, back to the more feminine, softer version or person, man.
And, like,
masculine
I don't
being.
wanna say that in a negative way, right? But I think, like, I don't know, like, more so from the masculine community, it's not always met the most positive, which I will say, I think, like, the how do I say this? As we move through different generations, like, that's more of, like, the older generation's view, like, I think it's getting a lot different the more we have different generations come in,
It's
which I think is
evolving.
beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Because in thinking with like, in my leadership group at work, a lot of the men that I work with are, like I mean, I guess there's a handful of both. There are some that are I'm like, "Do you want to be in leadership? Like, why are you here?" But there's definitely some that are, like, they're so involved and they're so good for their team and, like, you know, it's really amazing to see, so I love that that's changing. But, yes, it's frustrating the shit that's put on women.
Yes.
Um Yes. The other part, which I know we're like almost to an hour with all of our side tangents. The other thing I wanted to talk through today is being assertive without being aggressive. Because again, especially for women, right? When we're being I heard that eye roll. When we're being assertive, we can be seen as aggressive because that's not something that I think, again, maybe more so the older generations, but that's not something that they expect to or want to see from women. But here we fucking are. So let me give y'all
Maybe they
some
shouldn't be
tips.
so emotional.
Honestly, though, honestly,
Maybe they should just retire.
honestly, please. Okay, so yes, being assertive without being aggressive. What this looks like direct and clear expression of your thoughts, needs, desires, decisions, etc., showing mutual respect for your position and the other's position, and engaging in dialogue, not monologue. A few ways to be effectively assertive. And there's in the section of the course that I went through with this, that I took this from, there was actually 7, but I'm just going to go through 3 with y'all. So, I mean, again, I will just kind of plug, I guess, if you have the opportunity, obviously, if you're in Utah, if you have the opportunity to go through this course, it's a really, really great course. And I would really suggest it because you learn a lot, especially as a woman. I think that technically, I think it's directed at women and or people who support women. So you don't have to be a woman to go through the course, but I think it is a very effective course for women. So the first one is knowing your value. Without realistic sense of your value, you will ask less of yourself, claim less, contribute less, and it can make it harder for others to believe in you. I think that one is kind of a little bit like, I don't know, like sometimes we can sell ourselves short and other people can still kind of come in and say, "Hey, I can see these things." Especially as like I feel like as a good leader. So I guess in thinking of for like myself, like my direct boss, even if I were to sell myself short in places, them being a good leader, they would still be able to see the places that I shine in, and not necessarily, I don't know, go with my lack in that sense. Um, but knowing your value is so important because it can like really empower you, right? When you're asking for things, especially because you're like, depending upon what you're asking, like I think a lot of this conversation I mean, not all of it, but part of this conversation about being assertive is like negotiating things and asking for things that you deserve in your role, right? Be it a pay raise, be it an assistant to help with your workload, like whatever it may be. And if you truly know your value, those things are easier to ask for because I know what I bring to the company. I know what I bring to this situation, and I know why I deserve this, and I know why I'm asking. So it can really help you. Obviously, it can be hard sometimes for us to know our value or to know what we bring. I think depending upon your experience, and I mean, I think both the corporate world as well as like the way that you were raised, maybe not the way that you're raised, but like your experience through life, right? So I don't know if you feel like you're struggling with understanding your value, maybe even just stepping back and looking at the things that you do, looking at the things that you accomplish. And even if you can try to look at like say for example, there's someone in your same role you accomplish the same things, how does what you both bring look different? How does your end look different, right? Like, what value are you bringing in that sense? And I think sometimes that can be really hard when there are multiple people in your role too. Like, I know for myself, the current role that I'm in my area of the company, there are 5 of us. Not a huge number, but the role that I had prior to this, hundreds, honestly, of people who really in the same, like, people leadership role that I was in. But again, being able to, like, step back and be like, "Okay, well, yeah, we have the same job role, like, we have the same expectations, but here's how I show up differently. Here's how I bring different things to the table to really, I mean, again, help understand your value and what you bring." Yeah. Before I move to the second one, do you have anything you would like to share on that? Okay, cool. The second one is language. Speak up and add value. When you're speaking, use I language. When you're speaking, we want to be assertive, not aggressive, and not passive, right? Aggressive language overpowers, criticizes, shames, and threatens. And passive can diminish and also show that you don't know your value, right? Some things to be mindful of when you're speaking: cut out weakening words. And when I say weakening words, we had like a whole list of words that we talked through that can kind of weaken your sentence or weaken what you're trying to get across. And one of the ones that really resonated with me is just. And I can't like, I didn't write down any specifics and I don't have any specifics to say right now. But when I read through that list and was just kind of mindful of the things that I say, I notice that in my conversations or in my questions, I do say just, I insert just. And depending upon the way that you're inserting it, it can diminish things, right? Like even, I don't know, saying like, oh, it's just me. No, it's not just me. It's me. It's me, bitch. I'm here, right? Take just out.
Exactly.
So that's one that I've been super mindful of not including in my sentences. There was also some like, I could be wrong, kind of, maybe. Like those aren't very assertive phrases, especially the I could be wrong, because I think that's when you're in spaces in the corporate environment that maybe you're asking questions or you're bringing things to the table and like you're a little bit unsure of it or you're a little bit anxious or what it be like, I could be wrong, but here's a thought or here's a question. And like you immediately starting with I could be wrong or even ending with I could be wrong, like that takes the power away. Like take that out and just
It
ask your question.
also gives people the opportunity to prove you wrong. And it
Yes.
gives them the motivation to do so because you already pretty much said, prove me wrong.
Yep.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Prove me wrong.
Mhm. Yep. Exactly. So don't do that. And
Have
there was
another one if that's
actually,
okay.
yes, absolutely, please.
So another one that I personally have had to like take a step back from is sorry to bother you
Yes.
because I know how busy everyone is. Like
Mhm.
I'm very aware that by me reaching out to you right now, it is an inconvenience for you. However, I am not an inconvenience. The fact that I am
Mm-mm.
here doing my job is not an inconvenience for anybody. Like
Yes.
you like sorry to I am not a bother. I'm not
Not at
bothering
all.
you. Like if I have a question, like granted, if I'm just like trying to shoot the shit, yeah, that's a bother. Like don't be dumb on company time, but like read the room. If it is a like if it's a work thing, like you're not a bother. You're getting answers to complete your task. So,
I love that so much because in the thought of it though, you are being so mindful and so thoughtful that everyone has a lot on their plate and or I know you specifically are busy or whatever, and I'm being mindful with what I'm bringing you. I'm not just bringing you something that I could find by on my own or I could get answered somewhere else. You're being mindful in what you're bringing to them, but then diminishing it with like, "Oh, sorry to bother you. Like, hope this is okay."
mm-hmm.
I love that. It's a good call out.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. BS.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I was trying to find there was like an example in here. Okay, I'm right here. So this is So cut out weakening words and or filler words, which filler words are like,
You and I are the worst at those.
oh, I say like all the time. It's so easy. Yeah, it's so easy. We go to it. So you do like, you have to be so mindful. And once you bring it up, you notice how much you do it. Like talk
Same like
about saying yes, and you'll notice how many times you say how many times other people say
Just so you guys are
and
aware, I know she and I both use an awful lot. You don't even know how many ums we remove every week.
oh no. We should do a video of
Be grateful. Right? Look how the Riverside did
the
that.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
That
Beautiful.
was so I loved
That was
that though. That
hilarious.
was okay. So this is a section on here's something we may say that may not be assertive, and here's like an opposite of what we can say that is more assertive. So, and this one is, I think, pretty, I don't know, unconfident, I guess. So this one says, I was kind of thinking like, which, I mean, maybe not, I guess, because again, like, I say like a lot, I put that in a lot. So, I was kind of thinking like maybe we could go this route. And I even just added another one. I added maybe, right? So instead of saying that, I was thinking this, in my opinion, this. Now, the next one, I just had this idea and thought maybe this could work. Take out those two words and say, I have an idea. I have an idea that may work. Because even saying that may work versus maybe this would work, because again, the maybe is like, maybe this would work. I don't know. But like, hey, this may actually work. May is a little bit more positive. You're not looking for someone to prove you're wrong, right? You're like kind of getting them on board of like, hey, this really could work. This would be a good thing. It also says on here, awkward giggling. Stay composed. Try not to giggle in these business scenarios. This is probably a dumb idea. Do not say that. This is unconventional, but worth considering. I think that's a really good alternative. And then this one I feel like is probably a little bit more common as well. Sorry, can I just say something? Instead, may I add something I think is important? It's crazy how you're essentially saying the same thing, but like you're completely changing the tone. You're completely changing how people are going to hear you and respond to you. Something that you can do when you're mindful or when listening to this, if you're like, oh, I say those words too, or oh, I add those things in. Obviously, you have to be a little bit more mindful of the way that you're speaking until it becomes more habit for you to not say those things. Something that you can do if you do say a lot or like or insert word here, right? Is you can take some pauses. And I think this works specifically more with filler words because that's essentially what we're doing, right? Is we're filling space. That's why they're called filler words. We're catching our thoughts, our breath, grabbing, what our sentence was supposed to be or whatever it may be. And taking pauses seems a lot more like mindful and thoughtful than just throwing a filler word in there. So it can really help with the perception of, you and what you're trying to get out as well. But not realistically, this is all realistic, right? But one thing to keep in mind, again, with the weakening words, don't lessen what you're saying. Don't ask for permission. Put your 2 cents out there. And again, in the beginning, these are going to be hard transitions. And I say this, I am not an expert in this. Obviously, I said that I started this course in September and I am still being very mindful of the way that I speak. But even just in this conversation today, I've said filler words and, maybe other things, right? It's something that is a like completely continued thing. Like it takes, I don't even know how long to master it, right? And for any of you that like have now I'm like super aware. Any of you that have mastered this or have thoughts on this or whatever, please feel free to comment and like share what you have. When I was going through this, I was thinking of this one presentation that I had. So at work, I had the opportunity to I had the opportunity to run a group for something that I was very passionate about. I started this, and to show the importance of it, I got the opportunity to present this to senior leaders. And I had some other people in on the group with me, and I had one person in particular who is actually one of my dear friends, one of our friends. So I might have to follow up with her and see what thoughts or advice she can share with this. But we had the opportunity to present in front of senior leaders, but we had the opportunity to present in person in front of these senior leaders. And I say that specifically because I think I've shared a couple times my work personally since COVID, we have been at home. Like we don't really like we have like granted I said today I went to an in-person thing, right? But like it's the senior people get up and talk to the like 400 or 500 leaders of us that there are. It's not like we're not, presenting to people or whatever. Most of our meetings are virtual meetings and we can have our notes up on this slide and we can be fidgeting with our hands and people don't see it, right? Like it's a totally different environment. So to be able to present to people in person, not only present in person, but to present to higher leaders in person for something that I was super passionate about and that I was trying to help them share my passion was crazy intimidating. And so I was ready. It went really well. I will say the person that I was presenting with, I was so impressed. Like she just got up there, like it was the most natural thing. She even got like super personal with some of the stuff that she was sharing, and it was just like it was so natural. Like she was just talking to like a buddy. And she just captivated everybody and she like again it was really like her confidence, but it was so beautiful. So I'll see what I can follow up with her on thoughts or how she learned that. I actually think she said she took a course or something. I don't remember because I told her I was like, "What the hell? That was beautiful." Like where not that I haven't seen you be confident, but like, "Oh my god." That was amazing. But yes. And I know we're like coming up, so I'm gonna wrap up a little bit here. The last one that I have is nonverbal. Nonverbal cues can speak just as loudly as verbal, right? Your body language can tell people, even when I'm talking about virtual versus in person, you can still see people's body language over a camera. Like, obviously, when you're watching us, because, we know y'all want to watch us on YouTube. If you're not, get with the program and hop on YouTube because you can see us and we're hilarious and amazing. And Gabby just agreed, but we can't hear her. That's okay.
Hilarious. That is too funny.
Are you okay? I'm sorry I made you talk.
It's all good. It's all good.
But your body language can tell a lot, right? So things that you can keep in mind, one thing that we talked about specifically is relaxing your shoulders. Because if you're like kind of tense and like we talked about specifically we talked about specifically the distance between your earlobe and your shoulder. Like maximize that and just like relax. Show that you're relaxed, right? I was like that that's a great way to like because sometimes you can be tense and not like not under like not even not even recognize it. I don't know about you, but there's even sometimes like I don't know. You're just like laying in a random position or something, not even like a meeting or anything, right? I'm just talking about like at home or something. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, why did my leg hurts because it's tense? Why is my leg tense? Like I need to relax. Like you can be like your muscles can be so tense, and maybe you're like playing a game that's making you or reading a message that's making you anxious or whatever. Like your body reacts in that way. So like trying to just be very mindful and like present. Bring your shoulders down. It's good. Keep your head straight and not tilted. And this felt like such a weird call out to me, but ever since then, I have noticed all the time because like in our meetings, in our virtual meetings, I can see myself. Like I have a little camera blurb in the bottom and then I see everyone else bigger, right? But I've noticed like there's so many times my head is tilted. And I'm like, why is that a go-to? Like that's so weird. I really notice it, when someone's sharing their screen and then they bring over the meeting and you're like, now we can just all see ourselves and this is weird. But I'm like, oh, because I'm going like this and like it's mirrored, right? So my head is tilted the opposite way. And I'm like, oh, why is my head tilted? That's weird. So that's something that I've been trying to be super mindful of because like the way that you're like, and like as I say this, I'm like coming into the camera, right? Like the way that you're showing and you're coming in and the way your body is tilted, I don't know, can show so many things. There was a comment though that if you are delivering bad news, tilting your head can be very helpful, and it can, I don't know, help the receiving of things. I don't know why that was so hard to say. And I don't know. I kind of equate it to, which I'm not comparing myself to this, but have y'all ever noticed, and I don't know if other animals do this, but dogs specifically, have you noticed like when you're trying to talk to them or you're trying to like whatever, like they tilt their head. Like they're just trying to understand what you're saying. And I'm like, am I just like, I'm like so in it. I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't know. Anyway, be aware of if your head is tilted or not, because it's supernatural to me for some reason. Put your shoulders down, keep your head straight. In doing that, we're going to be what?
This feels weird.
I know. I'm like, now I'm
Like,
super tense in this. But
I
just
don't
like,
know how to relax and relax. Like, I don't know how to put my shoulders down while relaxing.
I think it's more about like, not like making it like, but just relaxing, right? Because just, not like tensing like pushing your shoulders down, but just like relax. Because if you're up here, like people can see that
Mm-hmm.
more, right? So again, just focus on the distance, your earlobe. Just think of your earlobe.
And keep your head straight.
Yeah. Which I don't think I don't think that I've ever noticed you like tilting your head. Like I know sometimes like when we get excited, we kind of like get more in the camera, but I don't. And I mean, like, you're scratching because I can see you tilting right now, but like, I don't think you're normally like
Right.
tilting. Another thing is don't be a bobblehead, which again, I've realized that I fucking do this. I'm like, yeah, like everything. I'm like, yeah.
I
I'm like
do
on
that all the
mute and I'm
time.
like, yeah. And since this, I've noticed I'm like I'll see myself in the corner. I'm like, why the fuck am I bobbling? I literally was doodling. I don't know what the fuck they just said. Why am I bobbling? I could not agree at all with what they just said, and I don't know, and I'm just bobbling along. So be mindful of the things that you're doing with your body when people can see you in these meetings. That was anyway. Having open posture, because you and I specifically have talked about too being closed off, like if you're, and granted, like you don't see this as much on video. I'm gonna like move my camera a little bit, but if you're in person and you're like sitting here and you like have your arms crossed, right, like that's super
Mm-hmm.
closed off language. Even if I'm smiling at you and I'm like, yeah, yeah, for sure, whatever, like we're having
Uh-huh.
a conversation, the fact that my arms are crossed, like that right there is closed. And even though
Yeah.
someone may not like specifically be like, ooh, her arms are crossed, like you notice it and you feel like, okay, this conversation, is not as just like open as it could be or something. Eye contact where you can. And also this one, and I don't entirely remember the conversation around this, but this one does say if you are going to smile, to make sure you're smiling genuinely, not that you're like forcing a smile, right? And I have in here my notes, only if you want to, because again, I know as women, we are told so often smile. It makes you
Right.
prettier, it makes you more presentable, it makes you more approachable, it makes you whatever, whatever, whatever. We don't have to smile. But if you're going to smile, make sure it's you want to smile and it's a genuine smile, because you can tell the difference when it's a genuine smile or a non-genuine. There's like another word for it and I don't even remember what the word was. Anyway, just if you're going to smile, do it genuinely because you want to, not because you think you have to. At the end of the day, trust your body. It knows what you want to portray.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we do, to a point, need to be mindful of
Let
the
me
things as
bobblehead. Hold
well,
on.
right?
Hilarious.
Right. Just being a little bit more mindful of the things that we're putting out and why. I do have, I guess I've obviously shared mine throughout this conversation. So one last question for you. Are there any nonverbal things that you do that have either like been brought to your attention by someone else or that you've noticed through specifically like conversations like this where things are kind of being called out and you're like, oh, I do that. Is there anything like that that you can think of that has been brought to your attention, whether by yourself or not, that you have tried to be mindful of that you haven't said? I mean, I guess again, like you kind of shared some of them as we were going through.
Yeah, there are. I have a really bad tendency. It's not bad. It is kind of in communication, it's not the best. I have a habit of trying to finish people's sentences because I think that I'm
Ooh,
right on the
okay.
same path,
Yeah.
neurological path that they at the brainwave. 9 times out of 10, I am not on the same brainwave at all. That's not true. With you, I feel like I'm always on the same brainwave.
Can
Like, I
finish
feel
each
like a lot
other's?
of the sandwiches.
Yes!
But, like, in all honesty, like, that has been a big one that was brought to me a while ago, that I try to be more mindful of, but at the same time, I've noticed that now that I'm more aligned with those I'm around, it was just a frequency problem.
Okay.
But, I mean, even in the workspace, like, it's been a frequency problem, where now that I'm around people that are on my I don't know how to say that nicely, but now that I'm around people that, like, where our brains work similarly, there we go. The wavelength is there, and it's easier to move through it. Does that make
Nice.
sense?
Yes, it does. Yes. I appreciate you sharing that. I'm glad that you've been able to work through that and you work with people that are similarly minded. It's really great when you're on the same wavelength or frequency or whatever and you can
Mhm.
work together more seamlessly. I love that.
Yeah. Super
Cool.
nice. Super duper nice.
Well, that is what I have for y'all for this time. Again, there will definitely be more sessions to follow up with because believe it or not, both of those were actually in day 1 for us, and we have 6 other actually, I think they were in day 2. I have 5 other days to potentially talk through with you.
I
Um,
love it.
yeah, really great stuff. The biggest one that I know for sure that I wanna talk through with all of y'all is negotiation. That was the one that, like, really hit the hardest for me, especially, I mean, again, as being a woman kinda going along with this conversation, negotiating is like can be seen as such an aggressive thing. So there's some things that we really talked through with that I want to share with y'all.
Sounds good to
That's
me.
what I got. Cool.
I love
Any
it. So you
questions or
feel
anything you want
complete?
to add or I do, yes.
I feel complete. I feel complete. I'm good.
Okay. All right, me too.
Okay. Sweet. So that's a wrap on this week's episode. Don't forget. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys so much for being part of our week, our stuff.
Yes. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Don't forget to comment your favorite moments, comment I mean, even outside of this, any other topics that you want to hear more about or hear of. Um, Share with people who will join the vibe because, as always, we're not forcing things. Give us a review if you're here for 5 stars. If not, that's okay.
Don't leave anything. If it's not 5 stars,
Yeah.
you could fuck right off with that.
Only positivity here. 5
Yeah.
stars, thumbs up, all the good stuff.
Make sure you like and subscribe. And follow us on YouTube, dudes. Dudettes. Whatever you are.
YouTube. Do it. You can see these beautiful faces and body language and all the funny things that we do. Because honestly, if you're just if you're if you're only listening,
Where are we going with this?
you're just missing out on the fun though, because we make random noises and faces at each other and you're like not, you're not understanding what's happening in that moment because you're just hearing our weird noises. So hop on the
Mhm.
video and see what we're doing.
Yeah. And you can
Hmm.
see the cats.
And the pretty girls. All the pretty girls. Human ones, the furry ones, we're all
I'm sorry, what? I was being yelled at that I was muting myself.
these headphones are very aggressive with that.
Ow,
I
ow,
think
ow.
I think that's everything. Until
Okay.
next time.
Wait, hold on. Don't forget to follow us on social media, not just the YouTube, but follow us on YouTube. Don't be
Yeah,
weird. Don't make it weird.
don't make it weird.
Yeah. We're on TikTok, Instagram. TikTok is very up to date, so ish, I
Yeah, it
think.
is.
Yeah, it is. Oh, and
Yeah.
Patreon. Don't forget to fund your babies.
Fund your babies and give the babies gravies.
Yes. Boo, Belly, and Batty Bat will be very happy with that. Thank you.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Till
Well,
next time, folks. Keep embracing the madness.
we'll see you
Next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.